Hello Admirals, and welcome to my channel where I talk to you about the tabletop game Battlefleet Gothic set in the Warhammer 40,000 universe. Today I'm going to talk in more detail specifically about one of the phases out of the four that make up the tabletop game. It's the first phase, and that is the movement phase. How do you move your ships around the table to get into position to be able to attack your enemy? In this video we're going to talk a little bit about that. Welcome back, Admirals. So in this particular video I'm going to talk about the first phase, which is the movement phase out of the four phases that you complete in the game of tabletop Battlefleet Gothic. So this is all the process of moving your ships around the board to be able to get into position to be able to fire and take down your enemy or meet the various different scenarios. So the game of Battlefleet Gothic is measured in centimeters. Everything is measured in centimeters in this game, and everything is measured to the stem of your ship, and then sometimes the base, but most of the time, 99% of the time, it's to the stem of the actual ship, model to model. Because the ships on the top are kind of representations. They're huge kilometer-long ships, so it's really difficult with the scale of space to manage, to try and manage that on tabletop. So that's why everything is kind of managed to the stem. So every ship in the game has a maximum move distance. So that's the speed at which it can actually travel. And I'll go into that in a little bit. But essentially, when it is your player's turn, each ship you select in turn to make your move. So in this instance, I would select my battleship, move that, then I would select my cruiser, I would move that, and then I'd select my escort to move that. You can do it in any order, but you move every single ship in it. So you choose the ship, you move that ship to up to its maximum distance that it can move, and then you move on to the next ship. Now, all ships have to move a minimum distance, unless you go on a particular order, which is called burn retros, and I will go into all the orders in another video. But unless you're using that particular order, or you're a particular fleet that kind of breaks the rules, i.e. Eldar, but most fleets and most ships need to move a minimum distance, and that is dependent upon their actual maximum distance that they can move. So for example, this cruiser has a maximum speed of 20 centimeters, and it has to move a minimum of 10 to actually then do anything. So you imagine, we're in the vacuum of space. It has to move because of inertia. Friction within the ship would crush it if it didn't move, different forces acting. So that is why you have a minimum move. So, how do you actually move? Well, it's really very, very simple. You have a look at the ship's profile, which I'll show you in a second. This will show you where to find all its distances it can move. And this one can move up to 20 centimeters, but I have to move 10 to actually then make my turn if I wish. So I have to move at 10. Simple as that. Now I can choose not to turn it if I wish, but each ship also has a maximum turn degrees, for want of a better word, that I can do, and a cruiser can move up to 45. So I can move at 45. Now, because it's gone its full move, its minimum distance, I can now leave it there, or I can continue on up to its maximum distance of 20. So if I wanted to, I could move it another 10 and leave it there. But I can't turn it again because it only has one turn available to it. So typically, kind of the basic rule of thumb for most fleets and most classes of ships are that an escort, like this little sword class escort here for the Imperial fleet, can make one turn at any point during its movement. So escorts are quite fantastic. They're very fast and nimble, designed to protect your flanks and your rears, and they can turn 90 degrees and then carry on to do their minimum move distance. Cruisers can make one turn, but must move forward at least 10 centimeters before doing so, like I just showed you. And a battleship, like this Retribution class battleship for the Imperial fleet, can make one turn, but must move at least 15 centimeters before doing so. So this big guy needs to move 15 before I can do the turn. And again, that's a 45-degree turn for this particular ship. So where do you find that on Where'd you find out all this information? So every ship in the game has a profile, like this beauty the Emperor class battleship, which is one of my favorite ships in the game, I have to admit. And this provides you, so this is the Retribution, and this provides you basically every single thing you need to know about this ship and any special sort of conditions it has. But as you can see here, it has a speed of 20 as its, there we go, speed of 20 right here. So it can go up to 20 centimeters, but it has to move 15 before it can make it 45-degree turn. And that is it, Admirals. So the key take-home is that when it is your turn, you move all of your ships. You select one ship, you move it, then you go on to the next one. And you do that for every single ship in your fleet. So Admirals, I mentioned turning, which is part of the movement phase in the last little section. And this little turning compass is free to download as part of the various different packs and PDFs that you can get. And this little guy is really useful for working out not only your firing arcs, which I'll go into another video for shooting, which is your port and starboard, but it also allows you to select and show you where the 45-degree arc is for your ships. So you put this template over the top of the stem, and once you've moved, then you can work out the exact 45-degree, and that's it. So this is a good little tool to help with 45 if you're a little bit stuck and you're not sure. There are some bases which also come with, if you can see there, a little compass point, which also you can use to assist in that. But most ships can do 90 or 45-degree turns, so as long as you have something that can help measure with that, you're good to go. So Admirals, that's the very, very basics of movement. The critical thing for everyone really to know, to summarise, is that everything is done in centimetres in the game, and you measure when you're moving and you're shooting to the stem of the miniatures themselves. Everything is represented to the stem there. So you choose your ship, you move that ship, and then you go on to the next ship to choose. So there's no particular order. You can choose to move ships in any particular order you wish, but you have to move every ship in your fleet, unless you do that special order, which I'll go into in another video, to be able to move. And then you progress with the rest of your turn and moving into the shooting, ordnance, and end phases from there. In the next video, I'll talk about shooting, which comes after movement. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll be back with another one very soon. Thank you very much, Admirals.